Coming up on KUJH, as excitement grows around KU homecoming this week, see all the fun events that you can take part in ahead of the big game on Saturday.
Stay tuned for a look inside of a haunted car wash. That's right, this isn't just a normal car wash, it's a haunted house car wash.
And more to come, we dive deeper into the ongoing homelessness crisis in Lawrence, Kansas.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Welcome to KUJH, I'm Abby Lord.
And I'm Blake Ullman.
This week, the University of Kansas is celebrating its 111th annual homecoming.
With a week of events sponsored by the KU Alumni Association, there will be a lot going on. KUJH reporter Ellie Mueller joins us live from the Union with more details about the week.
Thanks, Blake. With the night of bowling and Jayhawk jingles, the celebration will commence on October 28th during the home football game against Oklahoma. The week kicked off with a welcome party at the Jayhawk Welcome Center with an appearance from the KU Spirit Squad. The celebration continued on Tuesday at Royal Crest Lanes with a bowling party, where students and alumni were able to bowl and indulge for free.
Jayhawk Jingle is an event we do for homecoming. It's kind of the biggest event of the week. I did it last year and I loved it. It was like my highlight of freshman year, especially being paired up with another association, like getting to meet new people and kind of, have fresh faces. It's so fun.
The annual Jayhawk Jingles will be tonight at the Woodruff Stadium in the Union, featuring live performances from student organizations on campus. With singing and skits, the friendly contest is a part of the annual homecoming student competition, which allows the organizations to show off their skills and pride. To end off the week, join the KU Alumni Association at the Jayhawk Welcome Center Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for a free and family-friendly celebration before the 11 a.m. kickoff. During halftime, KU will announce the winners of the 2023 Excellence Awards given to students who have shown community excellence and leadership service. Back to you.
Thanks, Ellie, for the update. It seems like KU's homecoming week has been successful, fun, and busy so far.
Abby, it's certainly been a rainy start to the week.
It definitely has. Ashton, how much longer can we expect the rain to continue?
We are taking a look at our radar right now. We've had quite a bit of rain over the last 48 hours. You can see the cloud coverage behind me towards the western part of Kansas. They're beginning to clear out, and as the day goes on, we're going to begin to see more sunshine here in Kansas as well. This is a look at the accumulated rainfall in the last 48 hours. We've had close to 3 inches of rain here in Lawrence, and that's been very helpful considering we've been in this drought for the last couple of weeks. Here we are in Lawrence with the extreme drought, but that rain has helped. And over the next couple of days, we do have chances of rain for the end of our week. Temperatures right now, though, are sitting in the mid 60s up towards Nebraska, up in the 38 degrees there, much colder there. Warmer temperatures down south for today, though, and we have this south wind about 10 to 15 miles per hour for most of the day. Wind gusts getting up to 25 miles per hour for today, though. But coming up ahead in the full forecast, we'll take a look at that class planner, and then we have a homecoming game forecast for you, and then much colder temperatures ahead that we'll talk about coming up.
While many are planning on celebrating Halloween this coming weekend, police are already thinking ahead to student safety. KUJH's Libby Johnson spoke with Lawrence PD to find out their plans for keeping those celebrating safe.
Generally, downtown is a safe place for students. During the day, typical calls to police are trespassing in a business, shoplifting, and disturbances.
Halloween weekend, there's certainly a lot more people that are going out, that are going to bars, that are going to parties. So we do see an increased amount of people down there, and anytime you have an increased amount of people that are consuming alcohol, there are going to be things that happen that are going to require a police response.
Greta Saylor is a KU student who works at a restaurant near Massachusetts Street and plans on going out to celebrate this weekend.
Usually when I go downtown, I make sure that I'm always with my friends and I'm always aware of my surroundings. I would say downtown's always usually pretty popular to go to on the weekends, especially during Halloween weekend. There's always people everywhere, no matter where you are.
Starting Monday, you can expect to see more officers downtown. A new program implemented will have police up and down Mass Street on foot.
We're going to have officers down there interacting with people, making contact with people, addressing crime issues as they see them, and having just a general overall presence down there to make people feel more comfortable and to feel safer.
It's important to always be aware of your surroundings. If you ever see something that makes you uncomfortable, notify the police and take a different route. For KUJH News, I'm Libby Johnson.
Good tips for everyone to keep in mind when making their Halloween plans.
Another way to enjoy Halloween fun this weekend is by heading over to Tommy's Car Wash on 6th Street for a car wash and a little fright. KUJH's Jackson Reed has more.
The end of the year brings the second year of a special promotion at Tommy's Express Car Wash on 6th Street. This year marks the second annual Tunnel of Terror, a special Halloween-themed car wash. Owner Austin Davis said he was thrilled when his branch was added to this promotion a year ago.
After having great success, they asked members of the franchise community to come out and participate in it as well.
The promotion ran last weekend and will run this weekend. And Davis mentions that he is excited to see all the customers that are in for a fright.
This year, we are stepping it up, going 2 weekends. It was last weekend, and then it will be this upcoming weekend, the 27th and 28th.
The Tunnel of Terror is $25, which includes Tommy's most prestigious car wash. And as you go through the wash, you are given a little fright by local high school theater students. Kids that are in the vehicle will also receive a nice little Halloween treat, free candy.
If you are an existing Tommy's Express member, it is free for you to come through the wash on Tunnel of Terror. We are open from the hours of 6 to 10 p.m., both Friday and Saturday evening. Bring your kids. We give out candy bags to all kids in the vehicle.
Thank you, Jackson. Be sure to bring the family down to Tommy's this weekend and enjoy the Tunnel of Terror.
We still have a lot of news ahead. When we return, we'll take an in-depth look at how the city of Lawrence is working to address the homelessness crisis.
And we'll have a few tips to help you get ready and stay healthy as cold and flu season begins. Stay with us.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back to KUJH News.
KU leadership has announced a new capital campaign setting an ambitious fundraising goal they say will transform education on campus, accelerate research opportunities, and improve quality of life. KU's Ever Onward campaign hopes to raise $2.5 billion by 2028. If it meets that goal, it would be the university's largest capital campaign to date. Last Thursday, Chancellor Girard and KU endowment officials announced $1.6 billion had already been pledged toward the campaign, meaning it is already more than halfway towards meeting its goal.
We are your university, here for every Kansan, and we want everyone who comes here to leave prepared for whatever the future holds. Because tonight, we launch a historic campaign to fund our brilliant tomorrow.
The campaign aims to drive funds towards 16 different areas on campus, including various schools and departments, as well as the KU Medical Center's campus in Kansas City.
With the goal of ending chronic homelessness, the Lawrence Housing Initiatives Division is partnering with community leaders, human service providers, and volunteers for affirmative action. But some community members question if it will succeed. KUJH's reporter Ellie Mueller has more.
With an estimated 350 unsheltered individuals, concerns have grown over the increasing homeless population in the Lawrence area.
Despite efforts made by Lawrence to decrease homelessness and increase shelter, the community has continued to raise concerns. Emma Mueller, a current resident on Ohio Street, shares her story of finding a homeless couple living under her porch.
We take a look outside and we see this homeless couple walking out from under our porch, and they start throwing up. And then they made their way to our neighbor's house. They made themselves a bed from the insulation that's just in this storage area, and they made themselves a bed and just got really cozy.
And stories like Mueller's are not uncommon. Despite 5 homeless shelters and a 6th in development, homeless individuals are still seen residing on private and public property. Corey Wallace, Director of Communications for Lawrence, Kansas, says that the conversations happening around the community are typically revolving around public safety concerns.
The perception around public safety is degraded by the fact that you can see people sleeping on the streets. It makes people very uncomfortable.
Lawrence and Douglas County are actively working through a strategic plan called the Housing First model, which aims to move people away from the streets and into safe shelter.
Housing First has been proven to move people away from chronic homelessness, and that's our number one goal and objective here in Lawrence. But really, the better question is ask, what is happening to these folks that is keeping them chronically sleeping on the streets?
Mara Manilescu, a Lawrence local and advocate for the homeless community, has reported a 51% increase in the homeless population due to the closing of one shelter.
So I know they closed a shelter downtown recently, just over the summer. So it's actually been really bad this summer, since the summer. As an advocate for the homeless, I would love to see a new shelter in Lawrence so they have somewhere to stay.
With the winter months approaching, Wallace encourages the community to help the homeless by asking questions and getting involved with existing programs such as the Lawrence Community Shelter. To learn more, check out the Lawrence Housing Division.
For up-to-date information on the homelessness initiatives, visit the Lawrence City Commission website at lawrenceks.org.
The release of the Kansas Bureau of Investigation sexual assault numbers for 2022 and the death of a young girl in Topeka have caused a lot of emotions in the Kansas community the past couple weeks. KUJH reporter Dylan Vanderveen has more on the story.
As somebody who wasn't heard, my heart breaks for this family, and I hope this never happens to another little girl or little boy ever.
Sexual assault against children is a pressing problem today. Research from the National Sexual Violence Resource Center shows 1 in every 4 women and 1 in every 6 men are sexually assaulted before the age of 18. And that statistic grew in Topeka this month. 5-year-old Zoe Felix was raped and killed on October 2nd, marking Topeka's 26th homicide of the year. Since then, the Topeka community has gathered in support. Members of the community hosted a motorcycle event and raffle dinner today, an event aimed not only to honor her, but to bring awareness to the big issue, protecting our kids.
I would tell parents to be cautious. Don't trust anyone. Always talk to your kid, make sure that they know that they have open communication so that if something does happen or something gives them weird vibes, that they are comfortable coming to you.
According to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation, 2022 reported 290 instances of rape against children 14 and under. Over 90% of these instances were against girls. But even through the pain, the Topeka community is making sure their voices are heard through others.
Events like this make the public aware that this is something that's happening in our community, that we need to do more to protect our kids. And we wish we could stop talking about it. We wish we could fix everything, but I think events like this are steps in that right direction.
The awareness also brings others, like Janae Johnson, to speak out about their experiences for the first time.
I feel like us as a society, as a community, sometimes we don't do our part in bringing enough awareness to situations like that. This is why we have to come together as a community and to bring that awareness, to make other people, other survivors come up and talk. That's how we get people to talk, by being that strong individual to talk first and to get the chain going.
One sexual violence support group protecting Kansas children from sexual predators fought for years before finally getting Kansas lawmakers to reform the statute of limitations for murder, terrorism, rape, or child sex crime prosecution, making it possible to bring charges against people who did these crimes years ago. But until sexual violence numbers are at 0, Kansas sexual assault survivors won't stop fighting to bring more awareness and help others speak up.
It's all about being comfortable enough and coming out and expressing and bringing back that empowerment. And like I said earlier today, we are not victims, but we are survivors.
Dylan Vanderveen, KUJH News.
The money from the raffle and donations at the event today will all go to Lifehouse, a child advocacy center to help sexual assault victims and their families.
We all know Kansas weather can be a little unpredictable. One second it is rainy and the next it's sunny.
It absolutely can be. Ashton is live to give us an update on what the weather is like right now. Ashton?
Outside on KU's campus right now, as you can see behind me, we have lots of cloud coverage. As the day goes on, these clouds are going to begin to move out of the way, giving us more sunshine, bumping those temperatures up into the mid-70s for today. Tomorrow we'll be in those 50s though, and we'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ashton.
Later on, we will get the homecoming and Halloween forecasts.
With cold weather coming this weekend, flu season is closer than ever. KUJH's Ari Tada spoke with a local pharmacist and is live in the studio to give us insight on how to stay healthy this flu season.
Best prevention. The good news is there are tons of resources on campus to help stay healthy. The flu spreads around college campuses nationwide and affects millions of students. In 2021, 528 students tested positive for the flu at the University of Michigan. The University of Florida and Florida State University also saw an increase in cases of influenza among students that year. University of Kansas student Olivia Neely shares her personal methods to prevent the flu virus. A spike of influenza outbreaks are more common on college campuses in recent years due to the COVID-19 restrictions easing. College campuses in America no longer require mask mandates or social distancing strategies. Advent Health pharmacist Julie Getz goes in depth about the importance of receiving a flu vaccine. Due to college campuses offering communal living, crowded lecture halls, and close proximity allows the influenza virus to thrive. Make sure to visit your campus's or city's health department to learn more about how to prepare for this upcoming flu season. To find local clinics and additional information, visit the Lawrence Douglas County Health Department at ldchealth.org or create an appointment with Watkins Health Services through your patient portal. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ari. I will make sure to utilize those prevention tips.
When we return, Jackson Reed will let us know what's been happening in the world of sports. Stay with us.
I'm Jack Denneheim, and coming up on KUJH News, I visit with the Eudora High School cross-country team that just made it to state.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. My name is Jackson Reed, and we have a ton to update you on throughout the Sunflower State, so let's get started. As for the University of Kansas, the Jayhawk volleyball team traveled to Texas to take on the Horned Frogs of TCU, and on national television, the Hawks showed out, defeating the Frogs 3-1 and moving to 5-3 in conference play. Kansas will host West Virginia in a two-match series, with the first match being tonight and the next tomorrow. First serve is set for 6:30 p.m. for both matches inside Horst Family Volleyball Arena. As for Kansas football, after enjoying their bye week, the Jayhawks are set for their biggest test yet. Kansas will be taking on the undefeated Oklahoma Sooners, and as if there wasn't enough pressure, it's also the 111th homecoming game inside the booth. Our Aiden Pezzold has more information on the matchup and more, so he's outside the stadium. Aiden, what's going on?
A big game is on the horizon this Saturday as the University of Kansas football team takes on the undefeated Oklahoma Sooners. Now with big noon kickoff sitting right behind me, the anticipation will only build as the game inches closer. Now, KU secondary is going to have their hands full with Heisman hopeful quarterback Dylan Gabriel, but the big question remains, will OU's defense be able to contain running backs Devin Neal and Daniel Highshaw? Well, make sure to tune in 11 o'clock on Saturday to see what happens. Now, let's check in on high school football and see how they're doing this Friday.
Thank you very much, Aiden. Stay dry out there. But as for high school football, both Lawrence high schools are in the playoffs, and this is how the bracket shapes out. Lawrence Free State is the 7th seed, and they will host Garden City in the first round of the playoffs tomorrow night at Free State High, with kickoff starting at 7 p.m. Lawrence High is the 6th seed in their bracket, and they will host the 11th seed Dodge City, also tomorrow at 7 p.m. Now, onto the women's side of sports. NCAA athletes, NAL is the newest thing on the block. Athletes like Shadur Sanders and Bronny James are making millions off of their name, image, and likeness. But how are the women athletes benefiting? Our Shamaria Massenberg has more.
Thanks, Jackson. I had the opportunity to speak with current KU volleyball players Reagan Cooper and Michaela Myers about how misogyny in sports has impacted them and how that misogyny is affecting NIL deals.
I think that most of
the attention on women's sports is negative.
Despite recent popularity in women's sports and record-breaking numbers in viewership, women's sports coverage has remained the same for nearly 3 decades. Women's sports make only 5.4% of sports coverage, and this disparity continues to impact the athletes. With factors like NIL deals, the opportunity to play professionally, and pay inequity, women are fed up with the misogyny that continues to plague their sport. I had the opportunity to speak with current and former Jayhawks about the constant disparities they face.
I'm kind of happy that wearing makeup and eyelashes and having your hair done wasn't a big thing when I played, because now it's like girls not only have to worry about performing, but they also have to worry about their appearance. There shouldn't be any questions about hairstyles and eyelashes. Let the female or individual be who they are.
Those big accounts like House of Highlights or Sports Center, even ESPN, you can see a lot of male sport highlights. And if they do, especially on House of Highlights, if they post like a male or a female sport achievement or just anything with girls in sports, the comments are disrespectful. Most of the time, the female athletes are getting NIL deals. It's for their looks or for their social media presence on TikTok. It's not really sports focused. We have to offer something like a free t-shirt or free pizza. Like we had to basically give people something in order for them to show up. It's going to be a challenge to really get to where we want to be.
Name, image, and likeness deals are fairly new factors for athletes, but the disparities between men's and women's sports will continue to persist despite the progression of women's sports. Jackson, back to you.
Thank you very much, Shamaria. Now for high school sports, yet again, only 4 cross-country teams have won 3 straight state championships at the 4A level in the state of Kansas. But the Eudora girls team has a chance to make it 5. KUJH reporter Jack Dennebaum has more on the story.
The Eudora High School girls cross-country team is headed back to state with a chance to defend their back-to-back state titles after placing first at regionals Saturday. Junior Hannah Keltner said she couldn't be more proud of the team for making it back to state.
I'm really proud of all my teammates. I'm proud of how they performed today. All those hard workouts and hard runs have finally paid off, and it feels really nice.
Keltner was the individual regional champion Saturday with a time of 19:31.44. Senior Sydney Owens joined Keltner in the top 10 by placing 4th with a time of 20:33.06. As the back-to-back state champions, the Cardinals are expecting to have a target on their backs at state. Senior Addison Metcalf said the team can use this to their advantage this week as they prepare for state.
It'll definitely push us to try and run faster, just one girl at a time, and just really pushing it.
Seniors Zach Arnold and Alex Cloves will represent the boys team at state, as both placed in the top 10 to qualify. Arnold was the regional champion with a time of 16:26.56, and Cloves placed 6th with a time of 17:31.01. Cloves said he and Arnold just need to maintain a positive mental attitude to do well at state.
I think a lot of it's mentality. If you go in with a mindset of I'm just going to get in there, I'm going to get this place, and then if I can pick off more people. That's what I did at the race today. Then you're pretty much solid as long as you can follow through on that. It's just mentality. Whoever wants it more gets it usually.
Head coach Jim Bernard said this week of practice and preparation for state will be more about getting healthy than anything else.
There's not really a lot we can do to kind of gain fitness at this point. We're just kind of, we're still going to do the workouts that we normally do. The reps are just less. We kind of back off a little bit. We try and get our legs back under us and kind of get really fresh as we can be.
The state race will take place Saturday at Wamego Country Club. I'm Jack Dennebaum reporting for KUJH News.
Arnold and Cloves will start things off for the Cardinals at 10 a.m. on Saturday, while the girls will race as a team at 11:45 a.m. After the break, we take you through the decades during a parade. Stay right here.
Welcome back to KUJH.
As KU looks forward to homecoming celebrations this week, another university is already celebrated. Haskell Indian Nation celebrated homecoming last week. Students wore their purple and gold with pride all week long. A Haskell Through the Decades parade kicked off a homecoming festivities at Coffin Sports Complex. Veterans, alumni, Miss Haskell and the Haskell Brave, as well as different clubs and even a local Little League football team joined the celebration alongside the Haskell cheer team. Haskell Indian Nations University shares the same geography as KU, and some students say that means Haskell is often overshadowed by the Jayhawks. But this parade proves that the Fighting Indians have the same amount of spirit. For Kylie Standingwater, the current Miss Haskell, the event is all about seeing the community and showing that Haskell is here too.
I'm doing this parade today because I love to see the community out here and involved with Haskell. Sometimes we get a little overlooked by KU, but this is the 1 week where we get to celebrate our culture and spread it with everyone.
If you would like more information about any upcoming events, go to haskell.edu.
As we look ahead to the weekend, I know lots of folks will have plans outside.
Ashton, tell us how the weather's going to look as we head into homecoming.
We're taking a more local look at our temperatures right now. We are in those upper 60s today. We are going to climb into the mid 70s today, our last day of these warmer temperatures until a cold front comes. We have a 60% chance of showers until noon today with winds coming out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then by later in the afternoon, we are gradually clearing out these cloud coverage. By 1 p.m., lots of clouds, 72 degrees. But by 4 p.m., by the time you're heading home, it's 75 degrees, partly cloudy, wind gusts still up to 22 miles per hour, so it will be a breezy day. And then our temperatures are dropping into the 40s tonight. Once again, 40% chance of showers there. The winds are staying out of the south with us. And then tomorrow, we're barely warming up. Our high at 50 degrees. Still, we have these chances of showers at 40% chance of showers tomorrow. Another windy day with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. So our temperatures are making quite the dip. And for homecoming, if you're heading out to the football game at 11 a.m., it is going to be 45 degrees. We have a 40% chance of rain during the homecoming game. So it would be a good idea to grab that umbrella and hoodie if you're heading out to the game because there will be lots of cloud coverage. Our temperatures are making a dip all across the country in the next 6 to 10 days. We are trending well below average. You can see that here with our temperature trend graph. Tomorrow and today, we are at 74 degrees, and then we are making quite a dip for the rest of the week. High of 38 there on Sunday, so you will need to know where those winter coats are because it is that time of year now. This is a glance at the future forecast. Many locations are going to see some of these pop-up showers and thunderstorms form over the next couple of days, and then we are gradually clearing out. Good news, though, is that Halloween night looks like it's going to be pretty clear. Lots of sunshine there. Starting the week off, though, with these chances of showers until about Sunday. Lows are in the 20s this week, so you will need to know where those coats are. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ashton.
I'm hoping for good weather for the weekend, so hopefully it cooperates.
Homecoming is just around the corner and it will get busy on campus.
Ellie Mueller is live outside the Jayhawk Welcome Center. How are preparations unfolding, Ellie?
Thanks, Abby and Blake. I'm standing outside the Jayhawk Welcome Center, which underwent major renovations just this past year. You can expect this place to be a popular destination for all the alumni coming into town for this year's homecoming celebration. It's only Thursday, but not only campus, but the city of Lawrence is already starting to feel a bit busier. Reporting live for KUJHNews, I'm Ellie Mueller.
With Halloween and homecoming happening on the same weekend, do you have any big plans to go to Halloween events, the game?
Yes, I am. I'm going to the football game and then I'm going to dinner with friends. What about you?
I'm celebrating Halloween and also rooting for the Jayhawks.
Well, that's it for our show this week. Thank you so much for watching KUJH.
Make sure to join us back here next week for the latest information on news, sports, and weather.
And a reminder to keep up to date with KUJH on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, as well as visiting our website at tv.ku.edu.